For farmers to adopt any practice, it needs to be profitable, it needs to increase environmental sustainability, and it needs to increase the quality of their life. And the great thing about soil moisture sensors, it checks all those boxes. The reason it's on the rise here is really because I think they're seeing the value in utilizing soil moisture sensors. It's saving them money. Well, a lot of times, once we have a farmer decide to adopt or put soil moisture sensors in their fields, they do it with the recommendations we have for irrigation scheduling. But a lot of things that come up afterwards is they're able to see what's going on underground. The two most common type of sensors, and specifically to the kind of sensors that we have at our showcase, we have two main types. And that is a granular matrix or watermark sensors that's going to measure soil tension. And another type of sensor measures volumetric water content. And from a grower standpoint and how we try to educate utilizing these soil moisture sensors, they're going to mean different things as far as our readings go. So soil tension or watermark sensors, as the soil dries, the number gets higher. And the opposite as far as predicting volumetric water content, as the number gets higher, it's a wetter soil. And as the soil gets drier, that number is going to go low for the volumetric water content. Typically, farmers are going to make decisions on irrigation either by visual crop stress, the feel of the soil, calendar dates, and it may be Monday, and so we want to get around at a certain time. So adding soil moisture sensors as a tool to help with those decisions just really opens up a whole new window to be able to make more accurate decisions when we talk about irrigation scheduling. I definitely think the soil moisture sensors take the guesswork out, and you are more confident. As someone adopts soil moisture sensors, that confidence grows. And what we've done here in Mississippi as part of our program and my extension program is compare. You irrigate this field, we'll irrigate this field based on soil moisture sensors and a few other technologies, and you irrigate it the way you've always irrigated it, and we'll schedule it off soil moisture sensors, and we'll compare. The stats show that the yield, there's no difference, and we're using a lot less water. The three main benefits with soil moisture sensors are really irrigation scheduling and timing, monitoring root depth, and being able to monitor infiltration. If your soil profile is saturated, it's completely full. All those pore spaces are full of water. No additional water is needed. So either you're pushing it further down or it's running off. And so when we able to use soil moisture sensors and we see where the water has made it down to the root zone, and we know when we could cut off that well, and so we're really focusing on that root zone. If we irrigate too much and we continue to push that down, and then that's where we see loss through leaching for our nutrients as well. Here in the Delta region, we have soils that can crust over and really restrict infiltration, the water getting into our root zone and down into our soil profile. And a lot of that water is going to be leave off the field through runoff. And so a lot of times, as we see somebody puts a soil moisture probe into their field, they didn't realize how little infiltration they may have been getting through their irrigation. And so it can really open the eyes to be able to see what's making it into the profile and how much we may be pushing down through runoff and losing nutrients and water because it's not getting into our soil. Soil moisture sensors can be really utilized across crops, and so when you invest in a soil moisture sensor per field, I mean, you can use that for any crop as we go through. There may be difference in water use from a soybean or a corn plant or a cotton plant as we go through those stages. It's just building that comfortable and that trust in that sensor and how we're going to schedule that irrigation. Yeah, soil moisture sensors are really catching on here in Mississippi and in the Mid-South. And from the latest survey results from the Irrigation Water Management Survey shows that 27% have adopted soil moisture sensors here in the state of Mississippi. So the cost from soil moisture sensors can be as low as $50 up to $2,000. And each type of sensor is going to give us something different. Furrow irrigation can cost anywhere from $7 to $10 per acre, and sprinkler can be anywhere from $5 to $7 per acre. And so cutting out an irrigation, that's the reason we can save that money right there. When we talk about irrigation scheduling alone, soil moisture sensors, if you cut out an irrigation just because you're either on the front end of your growing season, because you're able to push it back and maybe catch that rain event, or able to terminate irrigation on the back end and know how far you can reach and feel like you're done with irrigation. If you can cut out an irrigation, those soil moisture sensors can pay for themselves that first year. Ultimately, For every soil moisture sensor, whatever soil moisture sensor you choose or company you choose as far as your interface goes, it's all going to take place. The best learning and decisions are going to get more accurate as you use those soil moisture sensors. Yeah, so one of the barriers with soil moisture sensors is really understanding and interpreting those results and making the decisions with them. And so what we're doing here at the Delta Research and Extension Center is trying to facilitate the interpreting those results the best we can. And so there's several ways we're trying to attack that, and that's really setting up demos on farm and working with the grower and understanding why we are interpreting those results, or why we would make certain irrigation decisions with them, alongside with them, and help build that confidence not only in the soil moisture sensors, but the confidence in their decision making utilizing that technology. And in addition, there's a lot of tools to be able to help us make those decisions. So that red box is where we're focusing, and that's where we want our water to go. Anything outside of that is going to be wasted. And so whether that be through runoff or through deep percolation, and which would increase leaching, we want to focus in on that area. And so giving the water when the plant needs the water, or the soil tells us it needs the water, allows us to focus in on that isolated area a lot easier. So a great time to consider soil moisture sensors is really but prior to planting. As we get ready for the planting season, have those sensors ready to go. Especially in the last couple of years, we've seen a real increase in telemetry services, which just aids in not only the decision making and helping interpret those results, but it sends those data from the soil moisture sensor directly to your phone, which just helps with all those decision makings, and makes it real nice and easy to be able to make those readings directly from our phone. A lot of times when we talk about irrigation scheduling without soil moisture sensors, it's kind of like driving down the highway without a speedometer. You're going down the highway, you can see how fast the cars are going beside you. You can relate yourself to how fast maybe that they're going, or maybe how you feel you've been going in the past, but you truly don't have an exact idea of where you're at. And so when we utilize a soil moisture sensor, we open up that world to know exactly what we're comparing ourselves to and be able to make those right decisions. At the end of the day, the reason we want to have soil moisture sensors is to use less water, and that saves us money. I've never stepped foot on a farm where somebody that had adopted soil moisture sensors that said that it didn't make them money. And so every time I've gone out there and talked to a farmer that really has used and trusted soil moisture sensors, they've been happy with them. When it comes down to it, soil moisture sensors have shown to increase profitability, use less water, and I think that's a big reason why we see the rise in adoption here in Mississippi.